Welcome to True Talk. My name is GrindheadJim. Tonight, Fortnite has a $1 million cash prize for the Winter Royale, and you can participate if you want. Although, whatever, dead game. I'm kidding. Valve discontinues the Steam Link. I don't know why, but we're going to talk about it. TellTale's finally getting some more work done on The Walking Dead, and it resumes. It is going forth into the blue night. If, that night is blue. It could be orange. Doesn't matter. The fact is they're working on it, which is awesome. Bitcoin plummets. Big surprise. Fallout 76 patch issues on the PS4. But without further ado, let's get into it. Fortnite's Winter Royale is here and you could participate, meaning you could win $1 million for playing Fortnite, which is a free game. Do that math. I'm not going to. Valve has discontinued the Steam Link hardware. You may not even know what that is. We'll tell you what it is, what you missed, and what they're going to do moving forward. It's a minor setback in a couple things we'll talk about. But I know that Joe feels better hearing that work has resumed on TellTale's The Walking Dead. But what news do you have for us? Gimme.
So Bitcoin, an online traded commodity, kind of like the stock market, plummets after hitting its all-time high 13 months ago. Are we shocked? I'm not, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. And Fallout 76 is released. People are complaining about it. Also, no surprise, it's Bethesda's first multiplayer online game. The newest patch essentially reinstalled the entire game for PS4 users. Data cap much? So more on that in a bit, but first, I want to welcome back our first repeat guest on True Talk.
I feel special.
Due to popular mistake.
Yes, somewhere between my cough medicine and sleepless nights of being sick, I goofed and decided to let him back on the show. I thought I got rid of him.
Bad idea.
Hey, everyone got their chocolate milk ready?
That is not milk. That is water, and I've never been more sad because I have chocolate chip cookies right here.
For those of you who don't know, oh my gosh, Esh is my chocolate milk kid. We talked about this last time.
Yep.
We also got him riled up about, I believe we might have even gotten him riled up about Yoo-Hoo not being chocolate milk, and it's not. So I'm going to suffer through drinking this bottle and make him watch the entire podcast.
That's so painful.
Yeah.
This is like the weakest sequel to Saw ever conceived.
Yeah, right? So
I want to play
like
the
the scary movie version of it.
Ash, what's your biggest nightmare? Yoo-hoo. So we've had you on the show before.
Right? Talk to you about chocolate milk. Joe, you have made his life a living hell talking to him about chocolate milk. The game, should you choose to play it, and you must, is to drink you nasty in front of all these people live on Twitch.
Tastes like dirty water.
Drink you or don't.
It's this choice. Guys, I found where dirty water comes from in Fallout. It's Yoo-hoo.
It's basically Yoo-hoo.
So Ash, we've had you on the show before. We went through a big we had a couple of questions to let the community get introduced to you. If you want to just give us a quick kind of reminder of who you are and what you typically stream.
So my name's Ethan, or Esh. Been a part of True for about 2 years now. I think 2. I stream mainly like FPSs, been dabbling in sport titles and Fallout recently, but yeah. That's it. Very easy. Very simple.
It's a man of few words.
Man of few words, yes.
That really doesn't work well in this format, you understand, right?
Just in the beginning.
You get that.
Few words.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Just checking, I'm checking. So aside from trying Fortnite, which, why wouldn't you? Exactly. What have you been up to since the last time you were on the show? Like what's new in your life? What chocolate syrups have you sampled? Like what's the deal? Like what's going on?
I wish I had like a subscription to like chocolate milks a month or something. It'd be so cool. But no,
milks a month.
I would, if someone knows about that, let me know.
Run out after like a week.
Chocolate milk of the month club.
Yes.
Like there's only like 3 ways to make chocolate milk, and then you're getting into milkshake territory.
Still,
how many different chocolate milks can you have before you start substituting like Slim Fast in there?
Oh,
like,
ooh, no. But besides, I went to TwitchCon, so that was really fun, and then just school. My game design classes have been getting harder, but nothing else new.
Okay. Still a man of few words.
Yeah.
Do you have any big plans coming up? We got the holidays. We got a lot of new games releasing. Anything changing with the stream?
Stream time has
Answer
changed.
in 3 sentences or less. I'm kidding.
I used to be streaming at 9 o'clock, and then now it's at 7 because people have been wanting earlier streams. Hopefully going to be able to do Pokemon sometime soon. And then maybe a couple holiday streams like IRL, so that way people can actually see like a little more deeper into my life, kind of thing. So. Yeah.
Oh, so like they could like really like delve into the fact that like you're really into chocolate milk.
Yeah.
More.
And
Yeah,
maybe
to
they'll
see,
get
like,
4
How you
sentences
make
out
it
of them
and what
instead
kind
of
of
just
glass
3.
you use.
It's yeah.
This special spoon. You know. It sits there and like, I have a set of 7 different spoons depending upon the viscosity of the chocolate milk that I wish to make and the size of the glass that I'm making it in.
Yes.
This is
2% long. This is my whole milk long. This is my skim milk long for when I've had too much to eat that day.
And then he's
Okay.
got the special
These different-
small spoon that he uses when he puts in the cocoa powder, like the Hershey's powder to make the chocolate milk, to make
Right.
sure that it gets all the powder
Or like,
off
or
the
when he's
bottom.
drinking it out of a Dixie cup as a nightcap, like a shot.
Oh yeah.
All right, cheers, guys.
Oh. Speaking of
Don't
taking
waste-
shots, the
Oh.
transitions get awful. It's all downhill from here. Speaking of
Pretty bad.
taking shots, Fortnite. Fall skirmish is over. Yes. Jim's like, I hate you already.
I really do right now. It's bad.
So
That's bad.
fall skirmish is over.
And you should feel bad.
I do feel bad, but I love it. The next tournament coming up is the Winter Royale. It seems like there's been a little bit of a decline, probably because of the popularity of Black Ops 4 right now. But what they've done is and I would think so. It's just kind of like the ebb. It's gonna build back up. But anybody can now participate in the Winter Royale qualifiers, and they're tracking points, and they're based on your finishes and eliminations and stuff like that. And when the qualifiers end based on your points, you'll be able to get into the tournament. So they've opened it up for not just like esports and special invitational kind of dudes. Ash, are you
What's
playing?
interesting about this, though,
Yeah. Oh,
there's
yeah.
an in-game patch that's
Yeah.
coming out right before the qualifiers start,
Mhm.
and it's a buff shotguns.
Oh, finally.
Yeah,
What do
so
you
they're
mean,
buffing pump
finally?
shotguns.
It's the
Buffing
most.
the pump shotguns to where they're lowering the range a little bit. They're increasing the damage, and any hit guarantees at least 3 pellets of damage, even if you only get 1 or 2 actual hits. So it's like a aim assist buff as well.
So nice.
So no more 6 damage crit headshots with a shotgun.
Oh, I've had times where I've hit someone like from 2 feet away, and I've gotten 20, and I was about 20 yards away and got 100. They're the most
And they
inconsistent
lower-
weapon.
Yeah, they're lowering the effectiveness at range. So I think you're going to see a damage fall off. That kind of it goes along with it. So on one hand, if you're really good with a shotgun, this is a good patch for you. And if you're not good with shotgun, you're going to have to get good, which means, in my opinion, this will be a much more interesting thing. Going into this, as opposed to get a scar, win kind of thing.
Oh yeah, this is needed. This has been needed for probably about a season and a half now. They've been broken ever.
Yeah,
since
because they really nerfed shotguns into the ground 3 months ago.
When they
The double
transitioned
pump,
to
getting rid of the
submachine guns.
yeah. What is the current meta right now? Is it the assault rifle meta right now?
It's kind of like the heavy AR came out, the AK. So if you have that and then maybe a P90, so the submachine gun there, it's just you're done. Because the AR is like 70 damage, I think, with a headshot. So you can hit them twice and then just melt them. So
nice.
Yeah, it's not fun.
So something interesting about this tournament, though, the qualifiers are only going to be European and North America based, right? So there's no Asia region for the Winter Royale, which is weird.
Well, I imagine that's a cost thing, though, because if let's say a bunch of people from Asia qualified, that's a lot of money that's going to go into getting them over to the States or wherever the finals are going to be, right? And plus, I think that if you went totally worldwide, you'd have to have a longer qualifying period, and plus, I think let's call it what it is. There's a lot of aimbotting and weird stuff that goes on in certain servers. If you get my drift, I feel like that's something. Look at PUBG. Like, it's really bad in the Asian servers there. and that's not me talking trash about Asia. It's just it's a fact. So I think that it's probably a little bit of both. It's a cost cutting measure as well as a we don't want to run the risk of someone getting qualified and they're using something they're not supposed to use that we can't necessarily catch because Epic did buy that anti-cheating stuff, but maybe not all that tech is implemented yet, and they're trying to protect themselves because how much of a coup would it be if someone got to the finals based off of that tech and then either was not able to show up a good game because they don't have that tech and it was painfully obvious that they suck at the game, or they won $1 million with that tech if it's like a remote thing or whatever. Like it's weird. Get it.
I like having regional tournaments. I really do, and they are going to eventually create tournaments for other regions to give that competition in each region as well as test their tournament system across those regions. But I like the fact that they're regional. If you think about it, you could get to a World Cup concept, right? You have your regional tournaments and in the different seasons, and then you can bring just the it's almost like the Little League World Series, right? You've got the world competing, the world countries competing, but within like Italy, before Italy gets a Little League baseball team, they have different regions of Italy competing in Little League tournaments, and then those winners, like, it just kind of move its way up. I like the concept. I hope that they don't. I hope they don't take forever to build the different regions because they're at a sensitive time. I don't think Fortnite's ever going to go the way of PUBG and vanish, essentially. But they're at a sensitive time where they really have a lot of competition.
We're coming out on PlayStation 4. Translation for Joe. It's vanished. It's gone.
Right. True, but I think
sorry, it's funny to me.
Well, I think the big thing is they're competing with Black Ops 4. It's no joke.
For how long? Probably through like January, February tops.
It depends on how they react, though. If they act like nothing's going on and they're gonna wait out Black Ops, then I think it'll be longer than that.
Every time a Call of Duty comes out, everyone says the same thing. Oh, Call of Duty, and we're gonna get tired of it.
Sure.
In terms of like mass market, it's just like what happens with any Activision game, including Destiny, where like all the mainstream people like come in and then 2 months later, nothing.
Fair enough. I still wonder though if they don't take Activision. Well, okay, I can't say that without laughing. Taking Activision seriously, but if they don't take the battle royale concept of Black Ops at least like a competitive as another competitor. I do think if they get overconfident, they could lose a little more than they'd want to.
I can see that, but at the same time, like we're talking about a free game that is the most popular among all of the age groups you want to target in gaming, and the one you want the most, which is the under 15 market. So.
Specifically the ones who have their mom's credit card on hand 24/7
or whatever. Like my point being that
everything.
I think the people that are really hardcore about Call of Duty are playing Call of Duty and they'll stick with it if it's a decent enough game. Fortnite was kind of the filler game for a lot of people. It was Destiny or Call of Duty or people that were playing PUBG and seeing the botting and stuff like that. Fortnite became like this is my go-to. Like, this is a fairly consistent experience. It gets views. It's fun. And in that respect, from a content creation standpoint, I don't think that's going to go away. And I think that the people that were playing it as a filler just in general, like, it's not going to be that big of a bottom line hit for Fortnite, in the sense that people that are paying the most money to play the game are still playing it. They're just not content creators.
Fair enough.
Or they are, and they're not big content creators.
Yeah, I think you'll see people that played PUBG, like streamers, especially like Dr. Disrespect. I don't think he'll ever go back to Fortnite. He'll play Call of Duty because
there's a lot of good reasons
it's like
behind
PUBG
that.
To an extent, but
my whole thing with that, like, Dr. Disrespect's not the kind of dude that like is gonna make a lot of money playing Fortnite. Not because his audience, the one that he should be targeting, they're really not. They don't care. I don't care. Ninja is not a 20 to 35-year-old audience guy. He's a 12 to 25-year-old streamer. And the thing is, let's say that this whole thing flops. If anything, Epic's going to lean into Ninja more to continue to bringing relevancy to the game as he has. And that's just one example. I don't see this badly because they make the amount of money they're putting up to do this, they make in less than a day, every single day, off of mobile alone. And with the way that the speed at which news moves in this culture, this could be the worst flop in gaming history for a tournament. No one's going to care after Christmas. They're not going to care. Like, this is really cool. I think that it may mean something for future Fortnite tournaments and tournaments of that ilk. Yay or nay. But in terms of the health of the game at large, I just don't see it making an impact. I really don't. Positive or negative, but the positive one will be if it does well, they continue to do it like every quarter or every 6 months or something, and start doing the regional stuff like you were talking about. I think that could be a huge boost for the game. But in terms of, it's all reward, almost no risk for them. That's my take on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
100%.
But speaking of risk and reward, Bitcoin. And I'm loving this. Jim, you should get into Bitcoin. No, I shouldn't. I've been around for almost every major financial bubble in the history of the last 30 years. And every time I'm like, it's going to burst. It's going to burst. It's going to burst. Guess what? Bitcoin's bubble has burst. It's at the lowest value in over a year. If you look at it like the stock market, which is what GamerDad was saying, way low. And so all these people that have been like going nuts, up all the damn graphics cards. Tough. Sorry. You wasted your money and your time and your electricity bills. Rip you.
Have you seen the rigs people use to mine these?
Stupid. They're so stupid.
It's dumb.
I wouldn't need a heater in my house.
No.
So Bitcoin went all the way up to $19,000 a coin last December, right? That's the per coin price. And for those not familiar with this,
I don't know that much about it.
It's basically, I want to speculate. I think it's like a mathematical algorithm, and you use graphical processors to mine for it, I guess on the internet. And people are just buying graphics card after graphics card and lining them all up and using it to run all this processing power to mine coins, which not really the most secure thing with the Bitcoin wallets. Also another problem.
Nope.
But it became, somebody figured out this whole little algorithm thing, and then they forecasted that there's a limited number of them. So everyone's like, I need those. And the more that
any other currency, dude.
Right?
When you're going to create like an economy out of thin air, you have to realize that it's going to operate like any other economy in the world. And people that were just buying graphics cards they didn't care. They weren't paying attention. They just saw money, dollar signs. And there were some pretty high profile Bitcoiners that kind of saw this coming, were selling like crazy, and they were smart. Those people, my hat is proverbially off to them. I think that was smart.
Mm-hmm.
And now there's a bunch of guys that have a bunch of graphics cards that they're not going to be able to offload because the new graphics cards just got announced, and a whole other ball of wax. And it's just like, sucks to be you, bro.
And there's been a lot of speculation about the non-crypto mining graphics cards, right? So graphics cards that essentially block that concept. And with that technology, whether it's ever going to be released or if it has, I haven't been paying attention, to be completely honest. But you go from $19,000 a coin to now, I think it's now only $5,390 a coin. If you find one, great. It's still a chunk of change, but the amount of money people have spent to mine these, I'm pretty sure is over $5,000.
Absolutely.
So stupid.
It's insane. So you'd have to find more than one coin, which is hard in and of itself. Stupid. So, boing,
And that's why you saw the spike in the graphics card prices, right? Because all those guys were just buying them.
Because everything went scarce.
And then
so
I think last night I jokingly asked my wife, "Hey, can I drop $800 on a graphics card?" And she just like, "What?" I'm like, don't worry, I'm not that dumb. Like, no. It just doesn't seem worth
I
it.
am, but I didn't do it for Bitcoin.
Right. And the other thing is, though, if you find out when you're buying secondhand cards, see if you can like at least ask if they used it for currency mining, because it's very taxing to the card. You are really limiting the life of a card by doing this. So it's just so much
it's
more risk than you need for reward.
in every sense of it. It's something that's just it's not. Again, all risk, very little chance of reward is dumb.
Yep, it's just like every other big fad. You know, the bubble, like you were talking about. The people who got in on it up front and said this is going to be a big deal and watched it spike to 19 grand. I guarantee all of those people who found a few coins, they were out of the business in January of this year. They were like, got it, made my money, I'm done. And then everyone else is like, I want to do it, but I lost all my money.
Sometimes early adoption pays off. Other times, not so much. On that front, Valve has quietly discontinued the Steam Link. You don't know what the Steam Link is? Little box that you put next to your TV, and you can stream from your PC to your television and play games right there in your living room. It works perfectly for that. It has a lot of other things you can do. You interface directly with Steam. If you use Steam for your media library, you can now play your media library streamed from your PC right to your TV, which is great. And I was using it for virtual reality parties. So I'd be in one room doing virtual reality. I could use the Steam Link to broadcast what I was playing out in living rooms. People can drink and have fun and have a good time. And for that, it was perfect, which was the only reason I really bought it. I played a few games in the living room. It was interesting. It was fun. I dug it. But at the end of the day, for me, it was just, I got it relatively cheaply. It does what I need it to do. I like it very, very much. And it's not that they're going to stop support. They're going to continue supporting the software. They're going to make sure people are taken care of. But you just won't be able to buy them anymore. They're stopping the manufacture. You can't get it in the U.S. anymore. I believe it's real close to getting sold out in the U.K. And when they're done, they're done. Question becomes, will this go the way of like the HD DVD player add-on for the Xbox 360 where it's super cheap to get? Or is it going to go up in price because people actually want one? I think that for the next couple months, you're going to see the value of those go up. And you'll see like a drop off at probably about, I'd say, February. Then after that, you'll be able to get them pretty cheap.
It's kind of disappointing to see, but we've had no commitment from Valve to say that they will never produce a different one. I mean, it's just this hardware.
I think that's probably more of what we're looking at here. I think that they're probably looking at what's a better way to do this, because although it was a very functional and remains a very functional and very solid machine, with today's graphics, I think that they're probably going to come out with one that supports 4K 60 frames. I think that's I think that's the reason that they've discontinued this one, because this one can't support that resolution or frame rate. I'm hoping that that's what is happening. Because it's like anything else. Even if you don't have a 4K TV, right? Or maybe the 4K TV is the only thing in your house that does 4K. How cool would it be to have a version of this takes that portion of the graphics processing and offloads it? You know what I mean? Like maybe it's like a, I don't know. There's a lot of things they could do with this.
It'd be really cool to load a 4K one up onto a 4K TV and play Fallout 70. Oh, wait, they don't have it on Steam. We'll get into them in a minute.
Dang, man. But
I hope they bring out a new box. I hope it's just
I do too.
It feels like it was too early for its time. And Jim, you've been a huge proponent on the console-less streaming kind of concept. Give me a universal device. This was a near step to that. My problem with it is it feels like they came out with this device at a time when digital, like high-def TVs were not necessarily great for gaming, right? We had a big plasma TV run for a while, right? And a lot of people might still have some of those. My only big TV in the house is plasma. My smaller TV is LCD. So I'm never, ever putting like a stream console like the Steam Link onto my plasma. I'm way too terrified of burning in an image.
When did you get, how long ago did you get it?
I've had it for about 10, 12 years.
Okay, for one that old, I get it. But Plasma's made like 5 years ago and newer. That's no
They've gotten a
longer
lot better,
concern
yeah.
because, not to mention that they've got built-in things to combat that and so
Mhm.
forth. But like the early ones that were 10 years old, no, no way.
I don't even like to
thing.
watch
But
football on it.
It looks so bad.
Oh, it
well,
looks great.
here's the thing. Like, because you're worried about like the scores and
Yep.
shit burning in. For me, I think if Valve is going to do something like super epoch making, make it something that's capable of 4K 60 frames minimum. Make it does everything the Steam Link does now with that resolution, and potentially in some way bridges that gap if maybe your computer isn't quite capable of it. Like that would be something that kind of makes you a little bit
Can we
better.
start the rumor mill that there's a partnership with Google or Amazon coming soon with Steam?
Oh,
That's what I was gonna say. Make the Steam Link
Oh.
also be a Fire TV
I would
or
love
a Chromecast or both.
Yeah, I'd
I would
love to
buy
yell
it
out,
immediately.
Alexa, load Destiny. You know, well, no, wait, Destiny's not on.
Dude,
Sorry, but yeah,
no, you can make shortcuts in Steam, dude. You can
yeah,
do that.
okay,
And I did play Destiny 2 on PC on my TV. I did do that.
that would
That
be
actually happened.
fantastic.
So if you ever checked like
Yes.
when they do Steam sales and stuff,
Mhm.
they were always dropping the prices of these Steam Links and the controllers to dirt cheap. Do you think it's them kind of like hinting at they might be going out soon, kind of thing, or no? Because it kind of shocked me because I saw like 2 sales in a row where they were like $2, $3.
Well,
At least the boxes were.
I honestly feel like they were trying to get rid of the stock,
Mhm.
which they've clearly done. That's a beautiful thing. This isn't like the HD DVD player where they had thousands in stock and they weren't selling. They're selling, and they got rid of them, which is the best, because those can't be that expensive to make, right? And if they were developing something that's better, because the thing is, they have to bring a higher value proposition to market, right? So let's say that the next one, if they make one, does the 4K thing, and regardless of what your PC can or can't do, it can support those resolutions, and it does have some kind of a media functionality built into it, or they're going to upgrade Steam to make it a bit easier to do like DLNA or something, and they do that. I think it's going to be fine. I really don't see any hints that this was something that they were trying to get rid of, in the sense of like, we want rid of these, other than they just wanted to sell them all, and they did. Because here's the
It
thing:
feels like
if
the
you sell,
last gen console concept, right? We're about to bring out a new
right.
one.
So if you
Let's get
sell
rid of the old.
everything,
Okay.
you sell all the hardware you have, and you create an install base of people that are used to using these things, then you come up with the next best one. And there's the reason a large percentage of those people will buy the next one. I think that's
Yeah.
what this is.
Okay.
Which translated,
Anybody
I
heard
hope.
of the iPhone?
Shut up.
Yeah.
I won't talk about that. I don't talk about that in my off hours.
Well, I'm only talking about it from the hardware perspective of the same thing, right? You see this big popularity push, the new hot item comes out. I mean, they're more predictable because it's annually, right? With their
Right.
with their big keynote and all that. But it's the same thing. We've got all this stuff. Let's do something to motivate people to get this out. I mean, now where they're getting mouse clicks, we're talking about it. Other people are talking about it.
Right.
That was what.
And people were upset. Like,
Yeah.
maybe this is a good idea.
Yeah. For those that also aren't aware, if you can't get their hardware, if you have an Android device, you can get the software. I don't know what all the functionality would be, but you can get the software. I actually have. When I first started looking at Kickstarters, there was a small little Steam Link size device that was an Android mobile PC kind of thing, and you plug it in under your TV, or it just makes itself its own PC, but it's a mobile installation of Android. So I could, in theory, install the Steam Link software. I just don't know what controllers would be compatible with it right now. But I could, in theory, do that. So, Jim, it might not actually be a step away from the universal stream concept like you were talking about. This could help move a step closer to it because they're still already supporting the mobile software.
I feel like there's some turnkey of the market that no one really thought of yet that
Mhm.
they are thinking of, where it's because, for example, what if you had like the Steam Link in the form it exists now, but with the high resolutions, but then you have another USB port in the back, and you choose the size of hard drive you want,
Oh, wow.
right? And now you're downloading those games and playing them that way, using cloud computing to take care of the graphic processing, but all the assets are on the hard drive and all the computing is being done in the cloud or on your PC for that matter, or like there's a lot of different versions of this. So like, for example, what if the push is to get like a dummy PC that has nothing but like it has two graphics card, like two GPUs in it, like a 6-core processor and 16 gigs of
Mhm.
RAM, but it is not designed for you to plug in and compute normally. It's designed to run 1 to 3 Steam links throughout the house. Each of those are like a separate console.
Your own
And the
Skynet
computer
of
exists
Steam,
only
right?
to power these other things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool.
So it'd be a way of like dummy proofing PC gaming to a degree and keeping it like it'd be like this. I don't know. I should work for Valve. End of discussion.
No, start
This is
your
your
own, start your own company.
That last year, see how that went.
Speaking of companies doing well,
Oh.
Yeah, thanks.
we so everybody who has seen previous casts has seen my disgruntled opinion of what TellTale has done. I just think the layoffs have been awful, but for the customer base, there seems to be some minor, and I really want to emphasize minor, reprieve in the drama. So Skybound has picked up The Walking Dead for the final episodes, and work
Right.
has been resumed, and they don't have release dates yet. The only real difference will be slightly later than planned release dates, but they're thinking the game. The game's still going to get finished, and rumor has it, I don't see any confirmation here, but when Skybound did pick up the continuation of The Walking Dead, they were actually going to work with some of the original TellTale employees who were designing the original game, so the storytellers and stuff like
Right.
that. So again, maybe an even smaller reprieve for just a very small subset of employees of TellTale. So I'm happy to see them.
Good stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of a very minor tarnished silver lining. You know, Ash, I don't know if you've really paid much attention to the TellTale thing. Jim's heard me gripe about it repeatedly.
So
Yes,
I've never
several weeks in a row now.
I've never actually played this series before. When I worked at a video game store, though, people asked for it like crazy. They said graphically it was a nice game, and then story wise it was fantastic. So it's interesting to see that all the hype behind it and all the people that want this game to come out, and they just almost didn't have it happen. It's interesting to me, but again, budgets and all that kind of stuff, so could always change it.
Right.
But so did you get to
Absolutely.
play this though, GamerDad, or no?
No, I never played any of them. I've seen some other people play them a little bit, and it's
Okay.
been the only game closest to it, because it's not really I want to say, this is probably an ignorant way of describing it. They're not skill-based games where you are
Mhm.
where your outcome depends on, you die and stuff like that. You're following a story, and you do certain things. You have to hit buttons on timing and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
it's not necessarily like running through like Destiny or Call of Duty or Doom or anything like that.
The art style is like from Borderlands, kind of, isn't
Yes.
it? The kind of
I
outline
love the
of
art
it.
style. But
Yeah.
it's the end of the road for a lot of the other games. There were some stories that they were planning on starting and never got picked up because they just died off. And I don't foresee any of that ever going to another company. Who knows? Maybe Skybound will really like how The Walking Dead went and they'll want to go pick up all the some other labels. We can only hope. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a tough holiday season for a lot of those people, because it's just not a good time for the TellTale family. Speaking of bad times, how was that? Was that on par?
That was pretty good.
That's pretty
Give
good.
me that.
That's all right.
So I'm gonna start this conversation with one direct statement. I love Fallout 76, and I love the effort Bethesda's putting into this game. But man, every corner they've turned, they have run into so many problems. And I heard somebody talking about it. I heard a like a moderate-sized partnered streamer talking about, well, I don't know what I want to play next. I'm done with a bunch of my sponsor commitments, and I've just got a lot of free time to play whatever games I want. And I've got a key for 76, but I've heard a lot of people not really happy with it, and that seems to be the message everybody's receiving. Like, play it, right?
Yeah.
You can have fun with it, but I've heard bad things, so I'm afraid to get into it. PlayStation 4 people are probably having an even worse time with it because
Oh yeah.
a lot of internet providers are capping data, right? When you run out of data, you get billed for going over your data cap. I think it's the dumbest thing
That's
in the
the
world.
thing.
And it was a 50 gig install, or roughly 50 gig download initially.
To begin with.
Yes. The patch, 47 gigs.
Gosh.
You also, if you played the beta was roughly 50 gigs. Then the release
Right,
for
so-
production, the gold release, another 50. So you're at 150 gigs in not even a month. Some people don't have a lot more data. Plus, you're using bandwidth to play the game. So, I gotta say though, Bethesda walked into this whole thing and said, "Look, we do offline games. We do Skyrim. We do Fallout. We don't do online games. This is gonna be difficult. We're gonna run into a lot of problems." They told you what you were getting into, and I'll be honest. There's been some interesting things. Ghouls attack you that are invisible, and you have to kind of close out of the client to fix the bug. The social, your friends list and all that, the social connections were very clunky. They've gotten a little bit better, but they are not getting good attention for this game. And this is not a any publicity is good publicity. This is bad publicity.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all bad publicity. Really, really bad. Very bad.
So are the issues where people have the game installed and then the update comes out and it's reinstalling the game like fully? Is that still happening or no?
The patch was so significant this time around. They made so many changes to so many fixes, and some of them, I gotta be honest, Bethesda, don't listen to your players and just change whatever they want because they want it. Take their input and review it and make sure it's the best thing for the game as a whole. I have complaints, and I will get into them if we have time. But
the fact that it's 2018 and you have to try and plead that to Bethesda is asinine.
Yes.
They've been a game company long enough that no one should have to tell them.
They're still
do your research.
They're still thinking in the offline concept, though. You should. Fallout 4. If I want to customize whatever I want to customize in Fallout 4, I should have the ability to mod the hell out of it. The online multiplayer aspect. If I mod something to give myself a change and advantage of the game, there's an impact to either of you if you're in the same map with me. If I do something where there's a minor mod you can put on your inventory, it's great. You can look at your inventory and see what your food's weights are. You can sort by the food or water, which you don't get in the base game. If I don't install that and you do, you're able to be more interactive with your inventory weights. Minor advantage.
Right.
But if they're making changes because you complain that your stash limit is too small, it's a survival game, guys. You're not supposed to have it easy. You're not supposed to have easy inventory. You're supposed to go through inventory management and tough decisions. You have to sacrifice wood to keep stone because you don't have enough space for both of them.
Right. It's insane. It's on one hand, I'm like impressed that that they have that many fixes that they can put in. But at the same time, like, this could have been doled out over a period of time because between the beta release and this patch, it's less than a month and a half of time. And depending upon how your billing falls, that's pretty bad. And I keep coming back to the cap thing. Up until very recently, I had a data cap, and it's not good.
I looked at my data cap. I fortunately don't have one. I'm on gigabit speed, and I was an early adopter. Like the moment they didn't even drop the lines yet, they were dropping them, and they came to my door, and I'm like, yes, please. So I got this, and gigabyte speed. Most people in the area are now terabyte data cap. My
Oh,
last bill was
Yep.
3.5 terabytes of bandwidth, but I'm unlimited.
That's crazy.
It's the but also I can download Fallout 76 in 20 minutes. So perks. But
Jeez.
for people who don't have that, like I'm a very rare, and I'm not trying to brag. It sounds like it, but I'm in a rare boat. I'm not. I'm the outlier now. A lot of people have
Right.
maybe a terabyte, 500 gigs. I was talking to a friend. It's
Right.
what, the 20th of November, and I was talking to a friend who's just like, I just got an alert that I'm out of data for my ISP. I'm like, well, that's not good. You're not playing any online games or streaming anymore this month, and it's tough. But with this, Ash, your question was about the patch. The changes that they made were so big of an impact that they were changing a lot of the base pieces, and effectively you're just you're downloading the updated files for a lot of it, and it just comes in the way of a near full reinstall.
Okay. I've heard people saying that the game's fully reinstalling. I was like, that doesn't usually happen, but
Well,
No.
it did in the beta. There was a
PlayStation-
reinstall in the beta,
Play-
by the way.
Well, like like the PlayStation does make it look like you're reinstalling the game with expansions like Destiny and stuff like that as
Mhm.
well. But this was not the case here. This was something where it was re-downloading the whole game. What we normally see with the PlayStation, from what I'm reading here, and oh, Bethesda, come on, dude. I mean, I'm really excited for this new Doom game, but the Fallout, you got to work on it.
Yep. I mean, it'll get there. I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of the players, not just Bethesda themselves, but a lot of the players are still used to Fallout being an offline game where you ask for it and you get it. The stash limit for now, for example, is a weight of 400, and I'm level 20, and my average carry weight is about 200. Just to give you an idea of scale, and you're bulking out all of your junk and putting it in the stash. There's a lot of things that they can do to fix it. I know in Fallout 4, for those who've played it, you have, I don't even think there's a limit, but you can stash all of your stuff in your workshops. And then if you use the NPCs that are like the residents of each of your bases, you can make them supply lanes, and then that effectively connects all of your stashes. The stash box in Fallout 76 is that automatically. Anywhere you find the blue Vault-Tec stash box, or if you bought the special skin boxes, wherever you find a stash box, your stash is there. But you have all of these cool weapons that you can't use that weigh like 12, 25, whatever units of weight that take up a lot of that stash space. In Fallout 4, you also have standalone offline containers, which means you have to be in the room where the container is to interact with it. It's easy. Stop giving the complaining gamer more stash limit, so you remove the survival base of the game, and you have boxes, you have bookshelves, you have magazine racks. Let them use some of those Fallout 4 containers all over again, and you have your sanctuary feel. You have a budget to how big your base can be, everything like that, right? It's an easy fix. And I think it would even be less size into the game to implement these patch changes.
My answer to that is sure. I don't play Fallout. Sounds great.
Yeah,
Basically.
I totally agree.
I just hope that I was hoping that Bethesda going into this would take some notes from their peers that have been doing, persistently online games, and they clearly did not. And the fan base is paying for it, and that's awful. And I don't like talking about it. But if you want to give me something I can talk about that I'll enjoy.
Oh, that's amazing. That's perfect transition. I love it.
You got to do is email us at TRUTalk@TRUgaming.com, or go to our website, TRUgaming.com, and social media links to contact us.
Remember to subscribe to our channels for episodes via YouTube, Twitch, iTunes. This is for Jim. Spreaker, SoundCloud and Spotify. We are a little behind on the episode. Excuse me. I am a little behind on the episode updates to YouTube and all that. They will be coming out soon to catch everything up as you wrap up season 2 of the podcast.
But we will be back after Thanksgiving break. We're going to have more True Talk, another special guest. Make sure you check out the Discord at discord.gg/TRUgaming. Tell all your friends about the podcast.
Mm-hmm. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We hope everyone that celebrates Thanksgiving gets their fair share of turkey and all the green bean casserole you can handle. For those of you who don't know, that is the staple, the one and only true requirement of Thanksgiving. For me personally, it must be there with the turkey. Ask my wife, she knows. She always tells whoever we're going to go see, it's got to be there. So I hope you all get all the green bean casserole you want. And enjoy your holiday season. We'll see you again real soon. We've got just a few more episodes left on the season, I believe. Jim and I are going to work out what to do with the rest of the holidays, how we're going to do the next couple of recordings, and then probably be back in the year at season 3. So thank you all very, very much, and we will catch you very soon. Jim, say goodnight. Say goodnight, Jim.
No.
How about Eshnyd?
Have a great night, everyone.
See?
And happy Thanksgiving.
He's a good boy.
No.
I am the good boy. The best boy.
No.
As always, Jim, it's great having you alongside of me. It's been fun. I enjoyed the cast. Eshnyd, thank you for being on the cast again with us.
Appreciate you guys having me on here.
Everybody have a great night.
Cheers. Breaker.
Yeah.